Hey there, I'm Lindsay Czarniak, and this is Players, episode 3 of the Washington Nationals World Series journey through the eyes of star pitcher Max Scherzer. So you hear all the time about team chemistry, but you don't often hear the recipe for how championship chemistry is created. So this is my take on that story. This podcast for me started as just one interview with a Nationals pitcher the night the Nats advanced to the World Series. But by following Scherzer, I gained a perspective on how this all came to happen in the first place. So as you know, it's a story that ends with the World Series celebration on the field in Houston. For Max, this was such a long time coming.
I love watching other sports. I love watching sports, and you're watching NBA championships and the Super Bowls and the Stanley Cups, and you get to see other players have that moment, and you just dream of that moment. And for me, through the course of my career, I've been in some deep postseasons and had some really cool moments, but never had that championship moment.
By the end of this episode, I guarantee you will have a new understanding of why this candid moment between Max and Anibal Sanchez meant so much.
We won more!
But back to business. So on paper, as a team that hit rock bottom, as Scherzer called it, in late May, this national squad had no business eyeing a national title, but here they were. I've thought about it so much since about it factor and fate, and what I know is for the Nats, it came down to team culture, chemistry, and belief. And it started at the top with manager Davey Martinez, who is one of the best motivators I've ever seen. He is super positive, but the team was going to need every ounce of positive energy for what they had in store.
Left side.
Thanks, Martina. Thank you.
Gathers it. Astros win Game 5 and win 3, 4, and 5 and take a 3-2 series lead in this 2019 World Series. And back to Texas they go.
The Nationals had lost Scherzer with a neck injury for Game 5, and despite a valiant attempt from pitcher Joe Ross and company, they lost their third in a row in Washington. So it was now win Game 6 tonight or watch the Astros celebrate the title. The pressure was on Steven Strasburg to keep them in this fight.
So tonight, he's got a chance to check himself into the Washington Nationals history by forcing a Game 7. And this guy right now is as good as it gets. Their best chance is with Strasburg on the mound.
Strasburg was ready to go, but meanwhile, Max Scherzer was doing all he could to get better so that he could be there if his team needed him again, if they could make it to Game 7. 24 hours had seen him make significant improvement.
That's where all treatment options are on the table at this point. So throw as much cortisone in my neck as you want.
And then what? You're just like walking around
it took about 24. After the next day, I realized, okay, I've had cortisone shots in the past, and I know they work, and I know it's usually that 48-hour, 72-hour window, that 3-day. Like usually, you feel pretty darn good in that time frame. I knew after 24 hours, I felt pretty good. Okay, this is going to work going into Game 6. The cortisone shots worked, chiropractic treatment worked, got everything. The spasm, we calmed the spasm down. The nerves were okay.
What was it like for you, like when you were just in your daily life at that point, trying to just do what you could to be ready? Was it just all business and you're just focused on it, or
just trying to get sleep, just trying to rest, trying to keep my mind off of it, and just believe in the next guy? Because if I can't go, Strauss is going to win Game 6, and then Sanchez was going to win Game 7. Even if it got there, no matter what, that was just a belief that I had. That was the path that we saw.
But why was he so sure? Well, it was partly because his wife Erica kept telling him, and that was because she recognized the it factor. Before Game 3 of the World Series, Erica told me something that I couldn't get out of my mind. She was reflecting on Max and Anibal Sanchez being teammates on the 2012 Detroit Tigers roster, the team that lost the World Series to the Giants. And she was specifically remembering Anibal's ability to unite players and to bridge cultures in the clubhouse. I had never heard anybody really talk about that. It's why when he signed with the Nationals in December of 2018, she knew the impact he could have on this team.
Anibal was he pitched, I don't think people realize what a good pitcher he was there and still is. He was so good in Detroit, but more so off the field. They held team parties all the time. We did team dinners all the time. On the road trip, they organized team dinners. Like, he was in many ways a glue for that team, socially especially. And it got everybody hanging out. It really brought everybody together.
Even post-World Series win, Max pointed to Anibal as being a difference maker in this fight. He said he and Para really made the difference.
You know, when we signed Anibal, I played with him. I knew what he was about. Getting him on our staff, I knew that was going to be a great thing. You know, I knew getting court.
Why? What kind of difference does he make?
Because he does such a great job of creating a culture with the Latino culture and the American culture, and getting everybody on the same page and having fun together. He's so much fun to play with and so much fun to pitch with, on and off the field. That he's so crucial to our clubhouse. And then when you start talking about when we were able to have Para and all the other guys that start coming together with Dozierman to this clubhouse, you can go up and down the lineup of what everybody was able to do for this team. It was 1 through 25, and it's just an amazing feeling when you have that feeling with your team.
I wanted to dig into this a little more, so I went to Anibal, and he told me that Max was his guy in Detroit. He described the two of them as having a really special chemistry, a special communication, like they could read each other's minds. Anibal said that as he watched the Nationals from afar while he played with other teams, he did get the sense that something was missing from that club. He didn't get why, with all this talent, they weren't winning more.
I faced, Washington since I was in the Marlins for 7 years, and I faced it in 2018 when I was with Atlanta. And I see and I always say, like, hey, this thing is really good. It's amazing. I never see Washington with like a bad team. Always like players' numbers, players' name. They always got like an amazing team. And why they don't win, why they don't go to the next level, because they have everything. Young guys with amazing talent. And when I get the feel, when everything starts, after I see the people working hard, amazing players, but they like a little bit separate.
So his goal was to help them come together. What I've seen in any sport is sometimes you can have the biggest stars on a team, and because of business or other things that get in the way, it just doesn't add up to wins. So Anibal knew how positive and sharp Davey Martinez was as a leader, and Davey tapped into Anibal to help when he signed.
And he always keep everybody together. I remember one of the things he told me early when I signed with the team. He said, "Man, I need you to help me to keep those guys loose. I think they're too tight on the field. They're too tight on the clubhouse." And I say, I love that. I like that. I mean, if you want that for me, I love that.
Anibal helped forge a bond amongst men that helped them get to this point. So back to Game 6. It all came down to Steven Strasburg, and Strasburg was pitching the game of his life. By the way, Max Scherzer said he was back to 100%. He felt good enough to pitch if called upon.
Going for Game 6, feel good, and then Davey was like, "Hey, this is a must-win game, so you're in the pen if you can throw." And I was like, "Yeah, I can throw." Laid out opportunities where I could pitch. There's times where there was a situation that was even going to come up where I got loose for a little bit, but the way Strauss threw Game 6, that was
incredible.
Oh, incredible! The way it was. I didn't get to see much being out in the pen, but man,
what blows you away about it so much as a pitcher? What is it that makes you so enamored?
Just everything he did this postseason. Just the way he battled through everything. He competed at any time, came out of the pen, big time starts.
That night in particular, what was it when like you just said, you couldn't watch a ton of it?
Yeah, it was weird because I knew I was going to be in a pen, so the first couple innings I'm watching in the dugout. But I knew Strauss was pitching well, trying to get myself ready, like, okay, if I got to get ready to pitch for game, pitch in the, that 6th, 7th, 8th inning, that was kind of the, area that they were targeting. I was having to try to get myself mentally ready. Mm-hmm. It's a different animal coming out of the pen, especially in the playoffs. Like, you got to be ready to go. And so
Nationals pitcher Joe Ross, who started in place of Max Scherzer Game 5, described what it was like to be in the bullpen with Max that night.
If you ever see him in the bullpen, ever. I mean, whatever game, it's a serious situation. And seeing him in the bullpen in Game 6, kind of pacing up and down, getting hot, getting ready to throw. I mean, that's probably the most intense like mound presence I think I've ever seen, whether it's a game or not. Honestly, it was impressive to see. I was glad I was in the bullpen for that, stint of hour of seeing him, and it was like,
I didn't get to see quite, from the dugout, in the other starts, I can really watch how he's pitching, but that game I didn't get to quite, actually watch how he's pitching. I just could hear every out, in the pen. We were all clapping for every out, whatever it was. You're so far removed from the game. It feels like that sitting out in the bullpen, but just being with the bullpen guys out there and just cheering for every out. That was a fun moment. And, when Rendon hits that home run after the crazy not call or whatever against Trey Turner. And we pouring a couple tack on runs. Here we go. This is exactly what Erica was saying. Like, we're going to Game 7, and here I am going to be having a chance to pitch in this thing now. So this is playing out kind of how we thought a few days ago. Here it was. Not able to pitch in a World Series in the most crucial moment to, no, I'm going to be pitching in the World Series in the most crucial moment ever. So here we go. Let's have fun with it.
Okay, so let that sink in for a moment. What I love so much about what Max just said is that it was so casual, like one of my friends could have been saying it at a bar. Here goes, let's have some fun with it. And fun was about to be had.
All right, let's do it. Welcome to the World Series presented by YouTube TV on Fox. It's Game 7 tonight with the Washington Nationals and the Houston Astros playing for the World Championship.
If you've never been on the field pre-game during the playoffs, let alone a Game 7, the energy, the nerves, the excitement, it truly is palpable.
Let's talk about the Washington Nationals. Vegas had them as a huge underdog coming into this World Series, and all they've done against the Houston Astros is beat Garrett Cole in Game 1. They've beaten Justin Verlander 2 times, and tonight they've got Max Scherzer on the mound, the guy they want, and a guy who 3 days ago couldn't get dressed because of muscle spasms in his neck. He's ready to go. I can't wait to see how he pitches.
As his teammate, knowing what Max is about to go out there and do tonight, what are you most excited about? What is this like for you guys to even be a part of that storyline?
I don't know. It was awesome to have him in the bullpen last night, to get him to, he was able to kind of experience, I think, some of the emotions and energy of being back in this ballpark and getting to test out his neck and whatever he's been dealing with. But I think just we're looking forward to the energy of the moment and knowing Max, playing with Max for the last few years, he thrives on that energy. He pitches, he's very, he shows his emotions out there a lot more than some other pitchers. And I think the guys in our dugout, I know in our bullpen, we definitely feed off of that energy. So
everyone was anxious to see how Max Scherzer would do, especially Erica Scherzer. She shared with me her 3 simple words of advice. So today, before this game, what did you say to him and what did you do?
Kick some ass. Kick some ass. That's it.
Max Scherzer described his outing as a grind. He struck out 3, walked 4, and left in the 5th inning after giving up a 2-run lead. And when you're watching him out there, what are you doing? What's going through your mind?
Just a lot of stress, but also knowing that he had a plan and watching him, like mechanics were good and he was hitting his spots. It was just the wrong pitch at the time.
A swing and a miss. The strikeout ends the inning. But a big 2-out RBI by Carlos Correa to double the lead in Game 7 after 5. It's 2-0 Astros.
Our hitting coach, K-Long, I have such a good relationship with him and Joe, both the hitting coaches. I love them. I love them both. And I came out to start and just kind of shook my head at hey, I mean, we're down 2-0. I know Greinke's throwing well. Come on, we're gonna need some runs. We're gonna win this thing. We're gonna win this thing. Come on, we got this.
Yeah.
I'm not done believing. Look, I can sulk over this pitching, giving up 2 runs, and it is what it is.
But you worked yourself out of it.
Look, we got out of it. worse things have happened, and we had fought back so many other times through this postseason, been down a couple runs, going in late, and had a belief in those guys. Hey, I didn't get the job done all the way you wanted to. Okay, now it's pass the baton, stay in the fight, believe in the next guy.
Okay, stop there. Down 2-0 through 6 innings now. And I can tell you, because I heard it, the Houston crowd was deafening and they were fully expecting a celebration ahead. But not these Nationals. What Scherzer was alluding to was a true belief his teammates were gonna have his back. This group had lived through hell in the regular season and discovered they could fight through anything by doing it together. It sounds cheesy, but it's so true. Anibal Sanchez said when Gerardo Parra joined this team, they made it their mission to turn the atmosphere into what Anibal described to me as Caribbean baseball. Dancing after home runs, group hugs. They watched a contagious energy spread throughout the team.
I remember Scherzer, he helped me to, let's turn around this team. This team need to start getting excited every time that we win. The team, they needed something to go outside, play hard, and win and do something on the clubhouse, because that's the reason that you want to win. You need a guy on the kind of idea or purpose beside go to the playoffs or win the World Series, but you need to enjoy it. So I remember when Parra came to the team, and I said, okay, that's the piece that I needed. That's the piece that we go with the flow now. So we start changing everything: music, attitude after the games, more positive thought, more enjoyable after winning. So from one moment to another one, we start winning games and have fun inside, have fun outside the field.
On May 23rd, the Nationals record fell to that infamous 19-31. A month later, on June 24th, it was 37-40. The team had just struggled through a series in Atlanta. It was an off day. They arrived in Miami ahead of a series with the Marlins. Not much to celebrate, but Anibal hosted a team party at his home in Miami.
And I remember it was a hot day here, but I planned that for like 2 months in advance, and I say everybody, hey, that day we got day off in Miami. Everybody bring the family. Everybody, let's go together to my house. Let's do like a pool party, and just everybody, feel comfortable. Don't bring any kind of jeans or anything because it's gonna be really, really hot. And I bring some DJ and bartender, and I think we had so much fun that day. Dozier, he took the show. He's amazing. Yeah, he took the show that day. We set out 2 bus from the hotel to here because I don't want nobody driving. I don't want I want to keep everybody safe at the end, and everybody enjoy. Everybody jump into the pool. I can see the kids like jumping around. Guys that I don't imagine that are gonna come, and they show up, and everybody like whole team show up at the house, and we swept the Marlins after that, and I think we won like 7 straight games since then, and had fun after the game, the clubhouse, and everybody go, okay, now we turn around, we pass the page from the struggling moment, and I just keep doing, and now that's when everything start pushing and pushing and pushing every single day, and we finish in really good position before All-Star break.
I found it interesting that Anibal said guys he did not expect to show up still did. Parties can't make you win, but they can make you want to win for the guy next to you. And that day, without much to celebrate in the win column, the Nationals popped the top on a better understanding of their brothers.
It's kind of like one of those things where, we start winning and the combination of winning and having fun go hand in hand. And then you keep winning and then you have more fun. And it's like, next thing you know, we're dancing in the dugout. Steven's dancing with Anibal. Steven, who doesn't dance, I've never seen Steven dance my whole life, is dancing in the clubhouse without Anibal. Parra's playing music where I'm possibly going deaf before the game, but like it doesn't matter because we're having fun. All those kinds of things that really just like add up and make the season that much more memorable. The baby shark, seeing the baby shark hanging in the dugout on the fence, stuff like that. So like I personally have never played winter ball, but I might retire and go play afterwards. If it's anything like the season we had last year, it would be worth it, I think.
Max picks up the story here. He's just implored his teammates to finish the fight after leaving the field in Houston.
And you know, by an inning later, you know, here they were going out there grinding, putting good ABs together, and you know, and how he hits that magical home run down the line, it just hits the foul pole.
Yeah. Against him. That's down the right field line into the corner. This ball is gone for a home run.
How all that transpired, how we continue to play as a team, and just Corbin coming in. You know, that's another moment I think might get forgotten and all that. And I think that's what's so special. Like, keep going back, how special it wasn't just one guy. Here's Corbin coming in out of relief and throwing shutdown innings. You know, that's one of the things that we joke at Kalong about is, you know, shutdown innings. He always gets on me about it, and we love it. I love it. You know, having that accountability with them. And I'm yelling at Kalong, shutdown innings. Those are shutdown innings. Like, Game 7, these are shutdown innings. Like, you better score more. I'm telling you, if we're getting shutdown innings right now, you better score, and they did. And so it was just a unreal moment going in that ninth inning to get that third out. I mean, that's everything you dream of.
We have a conversation, Scherzer and I, about the amen. I want to be the last in celebrate. I don't want to, just want to be the same team like in Detroit that we made the World Series and we just see the other team celebrate. We got the team enough to be the last and celebrate.
Sometime during the 7th inning, I left my seat in the outfield press box to make my way down to field level. I was with the rest of the media watching the last innings of the game on a small TV in the hallway in the underbellies of the stadium. And I remember watching the commissioner's trophy. A man was wheeling it down inside its big box. And I realized at that moment, as the score had gone from 2-0 to 6-2, they're actually going to do this.
Here they are, 1 strike away, 1 out away. 3-2. There it is! The Washington Nationals are world champions for the first time in franchise history.
The way the Washington Nationals won it all is really much bigger than sports. That's how I think a lot of championship moments feel anyway, but that's what I was thinking about when I was walking through the tunnel and finally out onto the field. That's why it still gives me goosebumps. The team that folks laughed at in May proved everybody wrong by believing in each other. It was that and talent. It was really as simple as that. I remember players on that field looking around for their families. They were almost desperate searching for them. They were also going hug to hug, and it was obvious they were trying not to miss out on special moments when they would discover a teammate off in the distance.
I just remember yelling with Zim, like, we freaking won the World Series. We're hugging each other on the field, like, we just won the freaking World Series. Like, that's it. Like, there's no more baseball. That's it. We're done. Like, that's it. We won. We won the whole freaking thing.
That was pure elation between Max and Ryan Zimmerman. This was pure relief. Anibal Sanchez and Max finding one another on the field. The hug that symbolized accomplishment. This time, they were the last to celebrate. As Max said, the way their careers had gone, this was a moment they will never forget. In the chaos on the field, I was trying to find Erica. I spotted her and she signaled that she wanted more time because she was celebrating with the other wives, with her girls, and she was definitely trying to find Max. After that, she came and found me once again, and I was just really excited to hear all of this from her perspective. Okay, wait, so the final out happens, and what's going through your mind?
Of the game?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of tears. I mean, I literally just melted in the seat, just crying and crying. I knew you were going to ask that, but it was just so many tears, because this is what, for so long, this is what he's wanted, and I've wanted for him, and this team to do it with all, just, it was amazing.
And there's no guarantees.
No,
but the drama that happened with him is what's so crazy, right?
It's not even that. It's the drama that would happen with everybody, from the losing the games at home, the barely, like the wild card, the this, the that. Like, it's just been such a ride the whole way. But we thought in Detroit it was like the best of the best girls, and which, I mean, those girls are my everything, and they are lifelong friends and everything. But this group and this team, it's something special, and what we did here, it was something.
What I remember thinking is how comical it was once we got inside the winning clubhouse, that there was champagne still spraying everywhere, and then at some point it seemed like every player sort of found his own spot. I looked around and I noticed Sean Doolittle was standing there talking to reporters holding his lightsaber. Guys were also drenched in champagne and they were literally soaking up the moment in their own way. Max Scherzer, meanwhile, I remember he stood against a wall just outside the clubhouse. He was surrounded by a few print writers. As soon as one of the writers asked him if he believed in miracles, I thought, oh, I wish I had asked him that question. But Max's answer, it still gives me goosebumps.
I just go back to my wife. She could just tell when we got to October, this is the team I was going to win it. She had the belief that she could just feel it has the energy, that we had the team. We had the team to believe that no matter who we're up against, that we can win. And she couldn't be more right, because this team responded to every adverse situation possible, never broke. Our motto of stay in the fight, never ran more chirp.
He said you were the one. I mean, he told a whole slew of writers that were gathered around him. He's like, it's my wife. She's the one that knew what this team really was. And he said you were saying it back in when? Like August, September, right?
For a while, like, I think it's easy for them to give up hope at times. It's the drama that would happen with everybody, from the losing the games at home, the barely, like the wild card, the this, that. Like, it's just been such a ride the whole way. But we thought in Detroit it was like the best of the best girls, and which, I mean, those girls are my everything, and they are lifelong friends and everything. But this group and this team, it's something special, and what we did here, it was something.
It took 8 years, much longer than she expected, but here they were again. And maybe she thought, as Erica told me later, the baseball gods had planned it this way. Maybe she said both of them had to learn something in those 8 years that passed in between.
Enjoy life. I think that would be the big thing, is to just really enjoy life as best you can. Not worry too much about the future, not think too much about the past, and just really enjoy the moment. I think that would be the big thing. And like, even with the World Series, when he went to it the last time, I don't think I enjoyed it, but I didn't soak it up the way I made sure to this time, thinking it's always going to happen. We've gone to the playoffs a couple times, and you don't realize that's not automatic. And so this time I made sure, no matter what the result was, I wanted to enjoy every pitch, every inning, every game, because you never know if it's going to happen again.
I love hearing life lessons from people who have just realized their dreams. Max also shared this win did validate the reasons why he went to DC when he was labeled an injury risk. He pointed out the Nationals were the team that believed in him. I want to say a huge thanks to Max and Erica for allowing me the access when one interview became really a journey to follow them in these playoffs. I learned behind the scenes things about what it takes for a family to operate effectively during the high pressure playoff time. That's another story for another time. Thanks so much for listening to Players. It was a blast sharing this with you.